Hello, my name is Laura. Welcome to my channel. And what I'm here to talk about today is 3 things that I do for allergies. And the reason I decided to do this video today is because I was always an allergy sufferer for years. And I heard a story the other day about somebody who was on a raw food diet, I guess early into the stages of a raw food diet, and they were struggling with allergies to the point where people were giving prayer for this person. And sometimes even on a raw food diet, especially in the beginning before you have really cleared your body out and really went through a lot of these cleanses and changes, sometimes you will still suffer with some allergies. I did in the very beginning. In that first year on raw foods, I was going through a lot of detoxing and I still struggled with a little bit of allergies. I did notice that they were a lot better than they had been before. But having been someone who had level 10 and more migraines from allergies and had sinus infections yearly, or sometimes I'd miss a year and have them the following year, I never had any of that again once I went on raw foods. So before I start with the first 3 things that I do for allergies, I just want to talk about, on a living foods diet, we all know that eating anything dairy is always going to keep your allergies going because of the mucus that's involved in eating dairy products. So you definitely eliminate a lot of issues by getting that out of your diet. So what I have here is an ACOC juicer, and this is the very best juicer to use when it comes to just something real little like this, because I'm just going to be using 1 lemon, and I'm going to be using ginger and turmeric. And also, for a little added benefit, I'm going to use a jalapeno pepper, and I'm going to keep the seeds in the jalapeno pepper. If anything was ever too hot for anybody, they can always take the seeds out of the jalapeno, but I find that that helps. That heat in that pepper really helps. So this is the first thing that I do, and I'm just going to turn on the ACOC, and I'm going to throw in some lemon. And 1 thumb of ginger, maybe a little bit more than a thumb of ginger. And I've got 2 small little pieces of turmeric. That was all I've had left from turmeric. And I have this extra turmeric that I always keep because sometimes it's hard to get, and this is a powdered turmeric that I might add a little bit to that. 1 bulb of garlic, just a little bit more ginger, and that's all. Just a little. I call this a shot. So I even use a little shot glass and stick it in there. A lot of times it's a little bit more than that, but maybe there wasn't a lot of lemon this time. But for just demonstration, I will show you. I'm also going to add just a little bit of cracked pepper, because cracked pepper is supposed to help release the curcumin in the turmeric. So there's your little recipe. Ooh, now that is spicy. This will really clear out your sinuses. The particular recipe is a tea, and it's very similar to the other recipe. What I did was I ran a little bit of just lemon and ginger through the ACOC, and I use a half a little, any size tea cup that you want, but I like this little teacup. It's just perfect for me. and I put half hot water, and then I'm going to add a little bit of water so that it's not, I don't want it hot, I want it warm. And then I will add the lemon ginger. And then what I add to that is just some of the turmeric, and the same thing, the cracked pepper, like I did before. And this is a great tea to drink if you wake up in the morning and you feel stuffy, or your sinuses just aren't really feeling real well. You can drink this and then take a hot shower. And I promise, this really works. And I kind of like the taste of these, but this is a Netipot, and this is a ceramic Netipot. I prefer that over the plastic ones, but either way will work. So what you do with these is, this is a neti salt. It's a Himalayan neti salt, and you add this. You always use distilled water, and so I'm going to just pour this into the Netipot. And they give you one of these little things, and you want to make sure that you never use more than that, or you want to make sure that it is stirred very good, because you can burn the inside of your nostrils if it's not used correctly. And you just really mix that up good. And of course, you want to be doing this at the sink, and you will go down one side of your nostril and then turn it and go down the other side of your nostril until the water is completely gone. And this will really help if you use this every single day. Myself, I don't use them every day anymore because I don't have the sinus issues that I used to, but my sinuses were always the worst in the fall. So in the fall, I tend to use this more just to keep myself clear. And every once in a while, I wake up just very slightly stuffy, and I want to feel completely clear. So I will do these things, and every once in a while, I've done all of them. But the only time, this next one that I'm going to talk about, the only time that you would ever do this is if you really have a bad sinus issue going on, or a possible sinus infection. And this is a way of clearing this out without having to go to the doctor and take medicine. Because anytime you take antibiotics, you're messing with your whole entire system. And everybody knows that once you do that, you're really messed up. So you don't want to take any medication if you can help it. And you know, I did a video on the microbiome, and that is the first thing that gets messed up when you take any kind of antibiotic. So I use nature's antibiotics, which are ginger and garlic both, and turmeric is a wonderful thing for anti-inflammatory. So that's why I have added that also. So in this particular thing, all you would use is a bulb of garlic, and all you would do is this. You don't have to use this. You can actually even do this right in the Netipot, but this is a thing that I have that I'm able to put it in there and just have it submersed in the water, and then I will just transfer it into the Netipot. But you will let this sit in boiling water, of course, and it has to be distilled, and you will let that sit for about 20 minutes, a half an hour. You can let it sit for an hour. All you're doing is infusing that garlic, and then you just want to take the solution and pour it into the Netipot and do exactly what I just showed you with the salt water. Now, the salt water can be used daily. Something like this, I would use maybe whenever I would have any kind of serious problem. I would use this 2 days in a row. And I'm telling you, this will get rid of it. I'm not kidding you, because I used to have the worst sinus issues, and toward the end, before I had even went on living foods, I had learned about this, and this really, really helped. And luckily, I don't need to do this anymore. But if anybody out there has these kind of problems, this would be the solution. And it really and truly works. We have medicines in the planet that God has given us that really and truly work. And you don't have to take medicine, you don't have to go to the doctor, and you don't have to take all these horrifying chemicals that are in these medicines. So I'm just going to close with that. I hope that this has helped somebody, and I'm going to read this. And this chapter in the Bible is out of Isaiah, and it is chapter 38, verse 21. And it says, "For Isaiah had said, let them take a lump of figs and lay it for a plaster upon the boil, and then he shall recover." And there are a few more chapters in the Bible talking about medicine. I love reading these captions, and I love finding remedies that really help, that are in our earth, that we can use. And I hope I helped somebody, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and have a blessed day.